So these overlays have been between a book for at least 24 hours. Mine stayed for a few good weeks, and I just didn't have the chance to do anything with them. So they look pretty good. They're really flat. They're not that shiny. I mean, let me check if I can compare it with, because I sprayed this thing. So this is the shiniest, but then you can see on the edges it's a lot shinier. So I know that when I put it in the car and there is sunshine coming on the dashboard, and this it's really good. It's as good as the factory produced one. So I've got two which are roughly about the same. They have this backing just to make it slightly sort of rigid and doesn't really fall through. And this is the one that, well, fairly the same design at that side, but on the other it's got these green letters. So when you put it on, I mean, you can't quite see it. I have to put a light at the back. So there is a slight green tinge if you look it from the light. Otherwise they're white. This was just an experiment. I mean, you don't need to be you don't need to have a green. So the next phase is really to cut them out and basically put them in the car and see how they look. So for cutting, I have this scalpel, but it's just a piece. I broke the handle. So this scalpel, I mean, that's all I have. The best is to buy a Hobbycraft knife from one of the Hobbycraft shops, because it's much thinner edge. It's a scalpel. It's for different purposes, but it still works. So once you cut it, so what I try to do, I cut them as close as possible to the edge, and then once you've cut that one out, then I use a filing set to really smooth and make it really round. So basically I'll have one of these files and we'll file it to make it really smooth and be close. So this is really, you can touch this and it doesn't smudge anything. So it's actually pretty good. So which one should I start with? So let's say I'll start with that one. I'm not really filming on the whole thing, as this will take forever on the three sets. So I'll show you just a few of the holes, how it's be done. This is really the most difficult, is the square bit. That's really the most difficult, because you have to be really close and then make it straight edge, but it kind of works. It's not that bad. You have to be just a bit more careful. So let's start on with, I mean, any hole. I tend to really cutting the overall, I'll do it with scissors at the end, because it's just easier to hold it like that and then cut. So okay, let's see, what shall we cut. Let's start with that one. So I tend to really rotate that one quite a bit. You have to put some force into it, and as close as you can get. I mean, it doesn't need to really be close. I mean, you can file it, so it makes life easier when you're filing it if it's slightly closer to the edge. Otherwise you file for quite a while. Yeah, that's not quite close, but I'll try a bit more. So there we go. Cut that one out. So I'll try to also really cut it close, otherwise it's I'll file it forever. Let me cut a bit more. that's fairly good. That's roughly alright. There is a bit of a white edge, so I'll file it to the black. Now, filing. It's quite a thing, so you basically just go around and just file until you can't see white, but you can see black. It's getting there almost. So I have another file that's slightly better. So this one is really round and fairly thin, so it does the first job. So this has a slight curved edge here, so I can, and I'm not too sure if you can see it, but this is slightly curved around here, so I can make it smooth. I can make the hole smooth. Okay, so well, that's the end result. I found it quite a bit. There will be a few white edges around here, but I mean the black caps go on top, so this is not really visible at all. And there are a few dust particles, but you can brush them aside later on. So I don't really file it very close to the edge, because I can really, with a slight black marker, I can put some black so it's visible, but the black caps come on top of this, so you cannot really see this white bit at all. So that's for this hole. So I have to do the rest. So this is how it looks at the back. So I have to do the rest, so it's that one, and that one, and these two, and then the circle, and then the small. So it's quite a few, so I'll either speed up the video or not film it at all. So I've got the holes, so that one, these. I didn't really bother to be very precise with these two. I mean, these are behind the bezel, behind the plastic, so they're not really seen, so it doesn't really matter. So the last thing is that square, which is the most difficult part. If I can do that right. It's really difficult. Well, not too difficult. Basically I try to be slightly off edge. Let's see. The edges are not quite still stuck. Okay, so all the holes are cut, so that one as well. I mean, I've left quite a bit of edge, so I'll try to get closer with the scalpel. And then file all of them. And this is only the first. So I've cut all the holes. So you can see my glove and the back. So I haven't really filed it down completely. There is still a bit of a white edge. So the next thing is to cut the pattern outside, so it will be just the black pattern, and then I'll put it between the book another 24 hours just to straighten it a bit. I mean, from handling it's curved slightly. For these slightly white bits, I mean, I could have filed it, but I'm not too sure whether this filing actually peels off slightly of the ink, the black ink, so it will always be visible. So the beauty of the black ink is that you can have a black mark and really touch it up at the edges. Once it's straight, I'll film that thing as well. The square, also a bit difficult. I mean, it's not. I mean, you can see the white edges from underneath, but otherwise it's I've cut it fairly well. So now I have to cut the elbow. That's really easy. You have a scissors and basically cut it out. It's not really nothing with that, basically. So I'll cut it a bit to handle it a bit easier. And the glue is pretty strong, I mean, it stays. There we go. There we go. And that's the pattern. That's it. So we can. Well, we have to cut the rest, file them, touch up with a bit of a black marker. So I can do the black marker now, just to have it. So I have a Sharpie and another one. This is thinner than the Sharpie, so this is really for fine touches, and the Sharpie is a bit thick. So I'll try to do it with this corner, with the really. So I put it down and just touch it up very slightly. Kind of inside. And I'll see what's left after. So it's almost there. That's it. It's perfectly black now. And I've slightly put some black mark on the edges, but you can't quite see it. and probably will rub off. Well, probably not. That's it. Let's see if you can see it a bit better. Because there will be LCD underneath, so don't really want to see white edges here. So that's why I put the Sharpie marker. So I have to do a bit about the same about these, but these are not that crucial. This will be on this. We have the black caps on top, so this is not really that crucial. And let's undo it. So there we go. It's completely black everywhere. So I'll stick this. So I'll do the other two designs. Stick this between. So yeah, there is a bit of a bleed through here from the marker, but that's alright. You don't see this. So I'll stick this in between the book because it's slightly curving, and you can see how it's curved slightly. So I'll put it so to get flat, and that's it.